6:45. Anyway, I'm getting in a workout. The Raiders got drubbed 40-6 by the Colts. The Daniel Jones led Colts. Remember, I interviewed Daniel Jones at the 2019 NFL draft in Nashville. Great guy, great parents. Anyway, um, happy for Daniel. He's landed in the right place for him. Not happy with the Raiders because, first of all, I have to get after my fellow fans, my fellow Raider Nation fans. They keep blaming Geno Smith for every loss. Look, I blame Chip Kelly for the offensive design, but this loss wasn't on. Well, in part it was on Chip Kelly, in part it was on Geno, but mostly it was on the Raider defense. Offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships. And unlike the loss to the Bears, which is really the offense's fault, really Chip Kelly's fault, we finally have to come to grips with the fact that the Raiders do not collectively have a championship defense. It's a combination of coaching and talent. I think really coaching, because I believe the Raiders have the talent to put in a first-class defensive effort. But I soundly hold that the Raiders coaches do not understand what it means to develop an offense that stops the run first, and an offense that quite literally can run those schemes that put chokeholds around the opponent's defense. Excuse me, what am I saying? I'm so pissed off. I twisted my words. Let me try that again. The Raiders do not have a defense that can put a chokehold around the opponent's offense. That much is clear. So the interceptions that Geno threw should not have been converted to touchdowns, but they were because the Raiders do not have a championship level defense. Okay? That's what's going on. Now Samoan and Mitch Renz and others keep pointing at Geno, and they say Geno's this and Geno's that, and call Geno all kinds of bad names and everything else. But the fact of the matter is that the more times you get the ball, the more opportunities you have to do, with the ball to do something, okay? If your defense is not giving you the ball back, you don't get those chances. And if your defense is giving up yard after yard after yard after yard after big play after big play after big play, guess what happens? You lose the game. That happened against the Chargers. We were doing a three-man rush on more than one occasion at I keep wanting to call them San Diego, at the Los Angeles Chargers. I hate that name, but because I think of them as San Diego, we kept doing a three-man rush at them, and it makes you wonder with the kind of offensive blocking techniques they employ, with the size of their offensive line, with their offensive blocking philosophy. Why they keep doing that is agonizing. It is just absolutely, completely agonizing. But we do it, and we give up bombs because of it. You saw it against the Chargers. You saw it against the Bears. Hey, the Colts had a field day against us because they know that we do not know how to coach our pass rushers to get to the quarterback. They know that we're not using the right defense, and they're exploiting it. And why shouldn't they? Because their job is to do what? Is to win, all right? It's to beat us. And they understand that. We're not acting like we understand it, okay? And the fans aren't helping by leaving the coaches and the defense off the hook. You should be criticizing not just Chip Kelly on offense, but Patrick, defensive coordinator. You should be criticizing the effort the defense put in, all right? You should simply be calling for types of defensive approaches that are along the lines of Buddy Ryan, pressure defenses, 5, 6, 7 men rush, Hey, how about an occasional all-out blitz, sending as many as 9 guys in? No, you got 2 free, and you're taking the risk that you're not going to be able that they're not going to be able to find the receiver because they're surrounded by Raiders angry men rushing the crap out of them. Okay, an 11 angry men defense. It's not just a saying; it is a philosophy. It is an attitude. It is also a series of plays. It is also a series of defensive formations. It is an approach, and the Raiders 2025 style are not doing it. It's not that they can't do it, but they're not doing it, okay? It's an insult. It's an insult to the Raiders' legacy for the defense to be this piss poor. It just is. And there's no reason for it, okay? Other than, hey, is anybody out there paying attention? Does anybody care? What's going on? All right? What's going on? You tell me. I don't know. I do know. I just said it. I do know. And then the Raiders need to understand on offense how to vary formations, use ball control passing to go with running, and work on engineering the drive that is like Chinese water torture. Okay? Takes 12 minutes to execute. The yards come drip by drip, and then you score a touchdown. You keep your defense off the field. Your offense is pummeling their defense. Their defense is getting worn down, and they can't wait. They can't wait to get you off the field. But you're just basically going along and say, okay, I got 3 yards here, I've got 8 yards here, and everything else, okay? And you're doing it methodically, until it becomes torture for the defense. And that's what the Raiders need to understand how to do. We used to do that. We've done that before. Yeah, sure. People remember big strikes, long passes, take what you want. But true, solid Raider fans remember when we had Van Egan and Clarence Davis and Pete Banaszak and these hard-charging Raider runners to get us the yards we needed to continue a drive and get the touchdown. And yeah, when we needed to score quickly, then we threw it to Cliff Branch. Then we threw it to Fred Biletnikoff. Then we threw it to Dave Casper. Those are the guys that made it happen downfield, goes to the post. Fastest man in the league, that was Cliff Branch, rest in peace, all right? That's what we did. The Raiders knew how to do it, but it's called ball control. Not just ball control because you just want to throw short because you have some deficiency. No, it's about controlling the ball. It is about time. It is about saying, okay, this is the amount of time we want to use. And so if we need to use 12 minutes, guess what? We're going to use 12 minutes. The Raiders have to get back to that philosophy. The Raiders do not have that philosophy. And it is painful to watch the Raiders because of that. And it is painful to hear people like Samoan and Rich Mitchell Renz and everybody. JT the Brick is a homer. I get it, so you're not going to hear it from him. You're not going to hear him say those words. Thank you, JT. I'm glad you're not throwing out the insulting comments. Bravo, okay? But my goodness, all right? So, tough stuff for us to have to deal with. There will be better days. I just don't know when, folks. I would like to say next week, but I have no control of the team. None. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark NFL News by Zenny62.com. We'll see you.